Hello everyone, welcome to this video. In this video, we will discuss about a new feature introduced with WSO2 APIM Manager 3.0 released, Test Console for API Publisher. I'm Hasani Adhikari, Associate Technical Lead from WSO2 APIM Manager team. Here we will be discussing testing APIs at the API design phase, difference between Dev Portal's tryout console and publisher test console, security concerns of this feature. Finally, we will be having demonstration session on this feature. First topic is testing API at the API design phase. The main intention of this feature is the API developers can make sure that the API is working properly by performing functional tests before publishing to the gateway for accessing of the API subscribers. Only the API developers are allowed to test the APIs through the test console. Here the developer who has publisher and creator role can do the basic functional tests such as test mediation policies and make sure whether the request goes as expected backend and the proper response are received, request response schema validation and check whether the API resources are defined as expected. As you all know, WSO2 APIM Manager uses an integrated Swagger console in Dev Portal to invoke an API. Here, we will discuss the difference between Dev Portal's test console and the publisher test console. Users who have a subscriber role can only try out the API at gateway. But when it comes to the publisher test console, users have the creator publisher roles can test and try out the API. WSO2 API Manager offers multiple authentication mechanisms such as O2 API key, basic auth, mutual SSL to secure your API from unauthenticated access. This is basically for published APIs for the consumers. But in the publisher test console, API Manager itself generates a token which we called as test key. It prevents the unauthorized access. Then we will discuss the security concerns of this feature. Once an API developer initiates the test at the publisher, the Swagger console is populated with generated token for the particular API. Internal test key handler verifies the authentication for each API invocation. If someone tries to invoke the API either without giving the test key or invalid test key, the handler prevents the API invocation and prompts an error message. If you try the test API code through the terminal or external tool, make sure you copy the generated test key. Let's move into the demonstration session. First of all, I'm going to create an API using existing Swagger file. Select the Swagger file. Our API is customer service, then I'm going to provide context. Select the business plan as unlimited, then click on the create button. Now the API is in the created state. Before publishing that customer service API to the gateway, I'm going to test through the test console. Let's try to test the API. Now I am going to initialize the test by clicking on the initialize test button. Once I initialize test button, Swagger console is populated. Now I'm going to test the get customers resource. Click on the tryout button, then I'm going to provide limit, then click on the execute button to invoke the API. Now you can see the correct results from the backend. Before publishing the API, I will show you how to test schema validation through the test console. For that, I'm going to the runtime configuration, enable the schema validation, save the API, again go inside to the test console. Now I'm going to invoke customers post resource. Here, name is a mandatory field according to the Swagger definition. Then I'm going to remove that mandatory field and check the result. Now you can see we got bad request error response from the schema validation handler. As I mentioned before, if you invoke the test API either wrong token or without having a token, it will give a error message. I will show you that error responses through the external curl command. First of all, I copy the curl command to the Swagger console. Now you can see we got correct response with the correct test key. Now I am going to change the test key and try to invoke the API. You can see it gives make sure you have provided the correct security credentials. Now I am going to invoke the API without having test key. Now you can see it gives error like make sure your API invocation call has a header, test key is missing. Okay, this brings us to end of this tutorial. To recap, we look at testing APIs at the API design phase and what are the differences between Dev Portal's tryout console and Publisher Test Console, and we discussed security concerns of this feature. Finally, we demonstrated the Test Console feature. If you wish to look at the official documentation of this feature, I'll be linking them down in the description below. Thank you very much. See you in the next tutorial.